Hello everybody, this video is a good example of how you should set up your opposing and refuting paragraphs, and I'll also talk about MLA and some other issues as we go through. So one of your fellow students, she allowed me to post this for you. It's also in the discussion board as well, but she gave me permission to make a video of it because I want to use it for all classes. So first of all, the MLA heading, double spaced, her name, my name, course, and then the date. And then here's the title for her excuse me, for her paragraph. Within and the, I would not capitalize. Only capitalize major words of a title. Part 1, introduce the opposing argument. And make sure that it is opposing and really stands out. So it is often argued that. And in that document that I gave you, and if you're in another course and haven't seen that document yet, you will. It's often argued that. This is the one I use a lot when I'm doing my writing because it's very clear, or opposing views argue that. And then logos is more prevalent than pathos. So logos, these people believe your opposing believe logos, and then you're the pro, the pathos is. So then part 2, give evidence for the opposing. So if logos is the opposing, this should only talk about logos. So admittedly, okay, then she does ICE. Remember, ICE is introduce it, cite it, explain it. So the reading, rhetoric, and action, course notes number 2. I would have been okay if you put rhetoric and action, quote, quote, and then put course notes number 2 down here where it says section logos. You could put course notes number 2, section logos. As long as it's close here, I'm okay. But some of you are just jumping into it and not introducing the quote. It's kind of like watching a TV talk show and they're like, oh, John, how are you? No, you need to introduce, here's a professor from Harvard University, or from her latest movie, here is Meryl Streep. You want to introduce that. Okay, so then you put the section logos, and remember for my course, I always want you to put PAR period in the paragraph number, or if it's just a page number, just put a number. But for my class, you cannot have you can't have any citation. You must have a citation, an in-text citation. So in other classes, they may allow you not to, but for me, you have to, because I will go and see your original source to make sure you're on the right page or paragraph that you stated. Okay, so then the advertisement uses blah. Then here she goes, the article. Remember, this required that you use an outside article as well about Nike. So the article, she gives the name of it, ICE, she's introducing it. Here, again, on, I would not capitalize unless they did in their title, but on to me is a preposition, it's not a major word. And then she put the author, then she quotes, and then par 9, period. Notice the period comes after the citation. Perfect. Now, if this were just the page 9, you wouldn't need par, you would just need the 9, because then I would know it's page 9. Okay. And here she closes it up nicely. Then part 3, counter the argument or refute. So opposing is logos. Now you're going to refute or spin it back to pathos, which is your pro or her pro. Then she goes through. Again here, she's introducing the second reading. Good, perfect. And then here she put section. Again, she could put par or she could put page number. Good. And notice here, because it's in quotes, I don't mark you want, you communicate. I don't mark that wrong. However, if you use you in your words, to me it's informal. Like if you go to the beach and wear a bikini, no, I'm not going to wear a bikini, so why are you using you? If you want to be concise, if women go to the beach, okay? And it's kind of like we need to treat people better. No, as a society, people should be treated better. See, you don't need we, you don't need you. And again, we, if you're talking about your family, my family and I went to Oaxaca. We had a good time. There, we is not generic. I know that it's going back to my family and I. Okay. Then here, again, here's the article. Oh, guys, I'm sorry, I'm bland. Remember here, she gave the author's name, Seville. I'm not even going to butcher it. And then here she comes back and she says, his last name, article. You don't need to give the full title again. I know that I can refer to what she said earlier when she gave the title. Okay, and then this contributes to anger. And then conclusion, she did here. She restated the topic sentence, which was well done. Okay, and let's look at the works cited. Works cited, perfect. Now I'm going to talk about containers here. So take a look. Howell Kevin overview, she put it in titles. English 201 Canvas course. That's the container. So the container or the large holder will always be in italics. This will make more sense to you. So the writing here, the rhetorical appeals, were found inside Canvas course. So this will be in italics, this will be in quotes. I'm going to jump this one. Look at this one. So Nike, the article, where was it found? It was found in inequality.org. What is the large container? What is the holder of this article? Inequality.org. So that will be in italics, where this will be in quotes, the smaller items in quotes. If we take a look at a book, notice when we're talking about Staples, a black man power, that's in quotes. But where am I finding this? Where is it being held? What's the larger container? The anthology I used to use, which is Patterns for whatever. But anyway, the book there is in quotes because the article is an anthology. It comes from that book. And another thing is, I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing. It's a book. It's a container. Is that book being held with anything else inside? No. Therefore, it's in italics. Now, if you were going to take a chapter out of that book and really analyze it, you could say chapter 9, whatever the title is, from I Know Where the Caged Bird Sings. I Know Where the Caged Bird Sings is the book. Something smaller coming out of it, if you're going to analyze chapter 9, that would be in quotes. I hope this helps. Okay, the overall thing I wanted to show you here is make sure that when you're writing your refuting and opposing paragraphs for me, or opposing and refuting, excuse me, that you set them up like this. Even when you do your research essay, I want them set up like this. I think it's a good learning tool. Now, when you go into another course, maybe a history course, and you're trying to argue, this war or this person was better than that person, add these to it if it helps you, but then delete them before you hand them in to the teacher. Okay, everybody, I hope this helps. Take care. Bye.